Hello, and so the final will be at Loftus. As I thought, the Sharks could do it away from home at Newlands. And as Mallet and Swayze predicted, what a dire game to watch. Ugh. Neither team could really run it with any skill or finesse, and none of the attacks looked very dangerous. In the end, Bosch just kicked the skin off of it from every part of the field and racked up a score for the Western Province to chase. Watching them try and run the ball was like trying to watch England under Lancaster, just shuffling the ball along, seemingly no plan. At one point, they dominated a scrum on the halfway line, and Yankees broke blind. He drew his man and passed to the wing, who just kicked the ball away because he was covered as well. There was just no effort to manipulate the Sharks' backfield. At least the Bulls versus Lions game was much better, when the Lions weren't knocking it on or giving away penalties. I choose to believe the Bulls pack was putting the Lions under pressure, making them concede penalties, because the thought that they were doing this unforced makes me lose sleep at night. How do you give away 20 penalties, like double figure handling errors, 2 yellow cards to your locks at the same time, which means you're scrumming with no locks against a pack who's already turning you into paste, and then you try and run it out of your own 22 on multiple occasions? That is not how you win a semi-final, guys. Everyone knows this. The fact that you still got within 5 points of the Bulls is almost a miracle. So, for the weekend, I think the Bulls are probably odds on to win their first Currie Cup in a decade. Dwayne Vermeulen is already a living legend. Cornell Hendricks is playing like he was born to be a 12, even though he was obviously born to be a Springbok winger. And Morne Steyn is just Morne Steyning. Armchair ride behind a pack that is unstoppable. Never count out the Sharks though. They have won some matches they shouldn't have, including games in New Zealand with 13 players on the field. Also, I love Saboon Corsi. Much darker today. Nice and rainy weather. At least I'm not sweating myself to death. All right, up north we go. And the Six Nations squads have all been announced. But the most interesting part of it has been the withdrawals of Matteo Menozzi of Italy and Joe Marler of England. Both players have said they'd rather sit out of the tournament, citing mental fatigue and just wanting to be with their families. Menozzi gave a long statement saying that he had to move to Britain and then got stuck in a lockdown when he got there. Then he had to be in a player bubble during the Autumn Nations Cup. He's been playing Premier League, which has also got like all his protocols and stuff. And now he has to go into another bubble for the Six Nations. He's just said he's physically and mentally drained and he can't go into another bubble. Joe Marler said he needs to do right by his family. He can't go into a bubble for 2 months and be away from them, which is also completely understandable. I'm ashamed to say I've never really thought about the mental strain of playing for your country during COVID. All these player bubbles and all that stuff. It makes sense that there are players who would rather be with their families. So imagine being stuck in a hotel for 2 months with a bunch of ultra-competitive young guys who have protein farts. All you do all day is train, and all you do all night is play Call of Duty. I would also go crazy. And you're not even allowed to have a beer. No. I think the Pro 14 is off again, though, I don't know, sometimes it's off and then it's on, I don't know. The English Premiership is back on, and there's a whole lot of fun games this weekend. Newcastle and Bristol are playing at home, and they can put some distance between themselves and Exeter, who has to beat the Warriors away to stay in touch with those two teams. Exeter beating the Warriors is entirely possible, since they are good, and the bad guys often win in real life. Sale, though, is a team in danger of losing touch with the top 3, since they have to play the much tougher Tigers away from home this weekend. Hopefully, the De Klerks and De Preers and Van der Merwes can deliver and keep them close to the top 3. Again, all of this is possibly moot, since this season is a house of cards that COVID can blow over whenever it wants. Back down south. In a very Australian feeling thing, the RA has asked a bunch of rugby legends to come help them pick a new Wallaby jersey. Fashion icons such as David Campese, Nick Farr-Jones, Greg Ella, Phil Bloody Kearns and Phil War will all be giving their input on what the next Wallaby jersey should look like. I mean, having a bunch of retired middle-aged rugby players pick your jersey that younger people should covet and buy should be fine. I'm joshing. Last bit of non-news. Alwyn Jones, the indestructible and possibly immortal captain of Wales, has agreed with the other British and Irish Lions captains that the tour of South Africa should go ahead if it can. I mean, this utterly obvious statement was published on multiple rugby news sites. The story is British and Irish Lions player says British and Irish Lions tour of South Africa should go ahead if it can. Yes, it should, if it can. Anyways, see you next week. Bye.